Hi, welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming today at the Ultimate Veritas Spa Salon. If you're just joining us, we'll let you know about something really exciting that you're going to see later in the show. It's a big reveal, a big makeover, and I think you're going to be wowed at the results. You're going to be wowed at our next guest too, because we love talking to Laura Gallagher, and she is the president of the creative company, a wealth of knowledge, and just glad to have you.
Thanks, Jessica.
I want to talk a little bit about what you do, sort of the big picture stuff, then we'll dive more into the specifics, but just first, what is PR?
Public relations is the study of, or the ability to influence many people through the media or through other communications.
Wow, that's a great way, just a one-liner, the elevator speech, as they say, about what it is.
Yeah. When did you start doing PR?
I started doing public relations when I was in college. I had read the book What Color is Your Parachute by Richard Bowles, which I recommend that everyone read if they're a little uncertain about what to do next. And he said that I should, it seemed as though public relations would be a natural fit, so he said that I should volunteer. So I did. I volunteered for the Madison Children's Museum, and I was able to get them quite a lot of press for the dinosaur exhibit. And then I landed a job at a public relations firm, and then I started my own company.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
And this is something that can suit businesses, authors, nonprofits. PR is applicable to so many areas. There's something called earned media and paid media. I'm wondering if you can tell us what the difference is between those.
Right. So paid media is when you essentially, you buy a place to tell your story, and Girl Talk might be a good example of that, but in addition to that, there are magazine placements and newspaper placements and things like that. And it'll actually say on there that it's paid advertising, just like this segment will say sponsored by the creative company. That's paid media. Earned media is when a journalist actually does a story on your business, and in this day and age, I would say that both have credibility and are different ways of getting the word out, and both have value.
Awesome.
Wow, okay. Let's talk a little bit about when is a good time to hire a PR firm. Do you do it in startup? Do you do it when you're growing? Both?
Yes, theoretically both. Although when you're starting up, you tend not to have that much to say. So, by and large, when we're contacted, it's when a company is building, growing, or changing, and they have a story to tell. And even my very first client many years ago was the Budgetalian Budget Dome. And it might not sound newsworthy, but at the time, only the Holiday Inns had holidomes. So the fact that it was a Budgetalian Budget Dome was actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And I got them on the cover of Motel Management. I also worked for the PR firm, for example, that got Tommy Bartlett up on skis for his 75th birthday, and just some fun things like that. That tends to be what people think about when they think about public relations, these moments that capture everyone's attention, but it also can be very rudimentary in terms of, it could be industry news, it could be just making sure that you're advocating for your own brand and what you're about. It doesn't have to, it's not necessarily all the big story that everyone's kind of captivated by. It can also be just basic business 101 kinds of things that you need to get out.
Yeah, and there's so much to know and do in this day and age as a business owner that it's important to have somebody kind of help guide you in some of those ways, because you can't be an expert at everything. You just can't.
You can't be, and there is pressure to have a thought leader within pretty much every organization that teaches and guides and shares the information that the organization has, and to be helpful. The pressure on content now has never been greater.
Yeah.
We have to have, there's a lot of content that needs to go out to keep your story moving, because it's just such a competitive landscape, and that's where a public relations firm can really come in and help.
Wow, interesting.
To wrap it all up before we go, I think this will be a really good point to share with viewers. Just why is PR so valuable and so important?
Reputation management has never been more important, just because it's of the way that media is consumed and also spread very quickly. And so you want to have your own channels where you can control the information and make sure that your public relations story, or the story you're telling and living, is a positive one, so that you're just ready for anything that comes at you.
I think consumers are really making conscious purchases these days, and that's where that positive image and storytelling really comes into play, because we're really making an effort to do the right thing as consumers.
Right,
Absolutely.
Transparency and trust comes from having a great public relations strategy.
Well, thank you for sharing this with us. It was fun. Nice to see you, Laura. This is Laura Gallagher with The Creative Company. We'll be right back with more Girl Talk. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're at the Ultimate Veritas Spots on Monona Drive. And I want to say that the owner here, can we call her maybe the queen of makeovers?
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah, we have a makeover coming later in the show. You'll get to see the before and the after, and who doesn't love a good before and after?
Excited for that.
But right now we're talking finances. It's February and New Year's resolutions are getting a little shaky. If yours were to have a better financial grip on your situation, you might want to meet our next guest. With us is Sue Peck. She's the founder, the president, and a CFP with Evolution Financial. Thanks for joining us today, Sue.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm curious, what are people coming and talking to you about these days?
Well, I mean, that was a good point. Like, you may have already lost track of your New Year's resolution, right? And so the first thing that I'm talking about with people is their goals. We want to make sure that people are still focused on their goals, focused on the long term. I mean, when it applies to various clients, we're also focusing on what were your capital gains for the last year, doing some tax planning for the upcoming year. And with taxes, I don't do taxes, I don't do people's taxes, but if you do your own taxes, people can bring them in and we can take a look at them together before they click submit to make sure that they have everything correct on there first.
Oh, that's so helpful. And I'm sure you get this question a lot. Why not just Google it about,
Right.
maybe creating a budget or what you should be doing? Why specifically seek the help of a financial planner? And I'm sure there's quite a few reasons why.
Right, I mean, the biggest thing is if we all we needed was knowledge,
Yeah.
all of us would be billionaires with six-pack abs, right?
That's a good point.
You really need somebody who's going to be by your side and
Yes.
helping you through everything and guiding you through all the little rules that you may not have seen on whatever page that you went on. And there's just so many things that you need to go through, and all of it looks so simple, but it's not easy. The idea of saving more, spending less, very simple concept, and it's kind of difficult in practice. And you need somebody by your side to help you through all of those.
Okay, good to know. I'm wondering a little bit about some of the terminology. So you hear sometimes financial advisor or financial planner. Do all financial advisors do financial planning?
No, actually they don't, and that is a common misconception out there in the world. And people think that you go to a financial advisor, you're going to get everything taken care of. A lot of financial advisors talk about investments, they talk about insurance products, but they don't do full comprehensive planning. So full comprehensive planning is taking a look at your goals. Where are you going? Are you going to have kids? Do you want to buy a house? Where are you going for your retirement? And it's not necessarily selling you products, it's finding the best services for you to get you there. And it's also looking at insurance, and it's looking at your estate plan, and it's looking at your retirement plan, and all of that together. So if you're looking for somebody to do a financial plan, you want to ask your financial advisor, do you do a comprehensive financial plan?
There's so much, so I can see why you would seek the help of somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like you just described a life coach regarding your finances.
It is very much like that, it really is.
What kind of clients, what kind of folks are you working with?
Well, yeah, along the terms of a life coach, right, there are so many transitions that you're going through in life. Whether it is, I want to have kids, what do I need to do to prepare for that? Or I want to get married, or I'm getting a divorce. All these different transitions. That's part of the reason why I named my company Evolution Financial, is it's talking about the evolution of somebody from this point to where they want to be.
So it's not like you specialize in the younger families or the folks that are gearing toward retirement. It's anywhere in between.
A lot of it is working through all of those transitions. So people who are going through those transitions, those are the people that I really do enjoy helping.
I love that. And Sue, would there be anything that would surprise people to hear about an aspect of financial planning?
Absolutely, and it is a lot of that life planning. It really
Yeah.
is, because people come in like, here's my tax returns, here's my pay stub, and you do your thing. I know you love spreadsheets, so you just do your thing. And then I sit back and go, okay, so how much do you like your job? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What are your parents' views on money? How did you grow up? What are your money philosophies, right? So there are all these things that people don't think about, that kind of touchy-feely kind of part, but it's really important when you're looking at your ultimate goals.
Last question before we go. What is the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal is to help people live their best lives, no matter what they deem that to be.
That really sounds like a great answer, too. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Sue. Sue Peck is with Evolution Financial. If you have your own questions for her, you can meet her at International Lane or check her out online. We have more Girl Talk right after the break.
Hello, welcome back to Girl Talk. We are cozied up by the fireplace today here at the Ultimate Veritas Spa Salon on Monona Drive. So excited for today's makeover that you're going to see later in the show. Right now, I'm also really excited to introduce you, if you haven't met yet, this is Rosemary Williams, owner at Premier Couture in Cambridge, and we're so glad to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really excited to be here, especially with a fireplace.
I know, it's
like
perfect.
fantastic.
It is. One of the things that you may or may not know about Rosemary is she's got this great store, like I said, in Cambridge, specializing in prom and bridal. But I was out at the store recently, and we talked a little bit about the history and sort of how you got to be where you are today. And it's such a fantastic story. I hope you'll share it with us.
It is kind of long-winded, so I can give you like the brief version, but it's funny because we've gone through such a transition from the beginning to where we are now. But the highlights of our story, I think, to me are, it started out as mother and daughter, is myself and my mom, and then it transitioned to me and my best friend. And she, Laura, is the other co-owner, and she and I have run the business together since 1999, I think. Oh, I shouldn't throw numbers out there, right? Because then we start doing math. But it is the basis of our business, is those relationships. First, mother-daughter relationships, of course, those are incredibly important in our business specifically, but so are friendships. And so we love to see that when people come in. We love the friendships that they have and the relationships, and we love to get to reciprocate those.
Anyone else have goosebumps?
It does.
I love hearing you connect those dots.
Right.
And what's interesting is about your business, people coming in for dresses, whether it is prom or bridal, you're usually coming in with your mom
Absolutely.
and a couple of friends.
Yep, it is true. And to see them support each other and love each other, there's these myths out there about bridezillas and things like that. And I truly believe that they are myths. What we see is really beautiful people, beautiful relationships at a really positive part of time. And yes, that comes sometimes with emotion or stress. Lots of good things do. Anything that's work does. Anyone who has planned a wedding knows it's like a second job, like a full-time job. It's a lot of work, but mostly these are just people connecting and continuing on with an amazing life story that they have.
Absolutely.
Your job sounds very rewarding.
Oh, so rewarding.
It is incredibly rewarding, and not just with our brides and our prom girls and homecoming. One thing that's really fun is watching the girls come from homecoming to prom to one-day bride. That is super fun.
Yeah,
special.
But also the relationships that we have just with our staff. We have just a really tight-knit bond even between the people that work there, because obviously we think that everyone who walks through the door has intrinsic value, but that starts with the people that we work with, and we love each other, and it's a great environment.
It's such a sweet story that you have, and that really was the short version. There's so many cool aspects of it. But one of the things that you said to me once that has stuck with me is about that experience of prom, because I think of wedding dresses like the big moment, right? But prom is really, well, like you said, the first time that a girl gets to pick out that really important dress that makes you feel a certain way. So tell us kind of what you're seeing in prom right now.
Well, what we are seeing this year is really fun in that it is so broad, the styles. A lot of times in the past, when we get our dresses in after they've been ordered, there's been a lot of repetition. And we're just not seeing that. We're just seeing a broad range of colors and styles. I think that we're really seeing girls really truly express themselves and gravitate towards that rather than only considering what their friends think they should wear. They really are working on saying, this is who I am. It's fantastic.
It's a great time to shop dresses. I
It
love
is.
that. You really
It
get to
is.
be yourself
Absolutely.
in your prom dress, and that's so important.
And I love your kind of slogan too, or your tagline, the only thing you love more than your Premier Couture dress is your story behind finding it.
Absolutely.
I think that just totally encompasses everything you guys represent.
It does.
You're obviously so passionate, and we're all kind of chomping at the bit to ask you questions and pick your brain, but really you take each individual who walks in that door and help them find a way to express themselves, which I think is the big takeaway that separates you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we love
and
what you
same's
do.
happening in wedding, bridal, and things too. I saw some photos on your wall of brides who have sent their photos and their family photos and their wedding pictures. I mean, that's just a testament to what you guys do.
Oh,
and
that
are.
is like a day maker every time it happens. Every time it happens, or when they post their stories, it's just like,
You're
warm
part
fuzzies.
of their
Oh,
long
I love
memories.
that.
I love it. Well, this is Rosemary again with Premier Couture. They're out in Cambridge. And this is Girl Talk. We'll see you right back here after the break. Welcome back to Girl Talk. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We've been teasing it the whole show because we're so excited. We've got a fantastic makeover for you as promised, and we're here with Debbie and the rest of the glam squad.
There we
Thanks
go.
for being here. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm so excited for you to see her. You have not seen her yet, right?
I haven't seen her.
You got her story.
Yeah, and let's talk about that really quick. So what we've been doing here at Ultimate and at Girl Talk is doing a monthly makeover, and it's really some interesting stories that are coming through, and this is a particularly sweet one. So I'll read you Courtney's entry, and we're going to show you her before photos in just a minute. But this is Courtney. In the last few years, I've been exploring and having fun with my styles and trying every color in the rainbow. But it's become time that I want a more natural, professional color and look. She wants to start college, get her degree in business management, and finally start the dream that she's planned for. So she wants to run her own business, possibly after a 4-year degree, starting a food cart and hitting the road. Somebody who's very passionate about, I'm paraphrasing, about food and wanting to be a personal chef. So when she saw Girl Talk, she says, I had a chance to learn from women that have worked hard on their dreams and have a lot of knowledge on being successful. And this was my chance to finally get the look that would allow me to not worry if people were taking me professionally or seriously for the job or even as an individual. I want the chance to look as strong as I feel, and I think that's the key.
That's the key.
So you've been passionate about makeovers, Debbie, for a long time. Give us a little background.
Absolutely. You know, the thing about makeovers is, you know, it just comes down to a simple fact. You know, we all judge a book by its cover. We don't mean to. I'm not trying to play any kind of accusing anybody or anything, but it's just a natural nature thing. So with Courtney wanting to enhance her look, you know, she's going from that, I call it Smurf blue, to wanting to be more professional. That she wants to be taken seriously, emerge in a business school. She wants to go to business school eventually, really study under great mentors and so on, but she wants to be taken seriously. And I can attest that from my own personal experience, what got me interested in makeovers is that I was in New York at a business conference, and this is the truth. I wear Cartier perfume, and I went was in my 20s, went into the Cartier store to get, in New York, to get a bottle, you know, my perfume, because you can only buy it at Cartier stores. We don't have any in Wisconsin. So I went in, and I was, you know, not dressed well. I had a baseball cap on, sweatpants, just going shopping early morning before my, you know, my convention things starting in late afternoon. So I went in, and I wasn't getting service. I mean, I was being snubbed because, you know, I was like last in line, all these people with Louis Vuitton bags and fancy dress was getting service. And I was just sitting there going, well, I have to wait for a personal perfume shopper, and nobody's giving me attention. So,
and you were saying people were even coming in after,
after
you
me,
and getting help.
you're right, and they were all well dressed. So I'm like, okay, well, fine. I got to get to my, you know, my workshop and class. So I came back, you know, a little bit later that same day. About 4 or 5 hours later, I had my, you know, business suit on, normally, my makeup on, everything normal. I walked in, greeted well. I got my Fiji water, my personal perfume shopper, and heck, they took my large amount of perfume sales. So, not that it's wrong to judge a book by its cover, but I'm saying it happens. You have 3 seconds to make a first impression. So, that being said, I really applaud Courtney of saying, hey, I'm tired of every color rainbow Smurf. I want to get back in the business world. So, this is why makeovers are so empowering, because we have a chance to do that. Working with Casey, she took her blue hair, and Courtney had done so many colors underneath. So you got layers and layers and layers. I have never worked with a colorist. This experience in my history of 35 years in the industry of what she did with her.
No tears.
No tears. I know. So tell me a little bit about everything you took her from.
So
let's bring her out and then let's talk about what you did, because I think that would be fun.
Good idea.
To do it while
Good
she's
idea.
out.
All right.
So talking a little bit about the before, as Debbie mentioned, we had blue hair.
I get so excited.
And it sounds like some layers of color. So let's introduce Courtney and see the after. You ready?
All right, my dear. Courtney, come on out. Hello. Come on,
Here we
girlfriend.
go. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Woo!
So exciting. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You look awesome.
You look gorgeous. Oh my
That is
gosh.
incredible. Your hair is gorgeous. Your makeup is great. Okay. Oh, that's like goosebumps, chills. We were talking about goosebumps before we started. And I've seen Courtney before, so I was really excited for the makeover. But tell us what you did. Talk to us about that.
So we started with a lot of different colors: light blue, dark blue, mint green, blonde, her natural, a lot. And I wanted to be able to break through all those colors, but I also wanted to keep her hair in good condition. So I started by doing a couple different test strands, and we ended up just lightening everything and
Getting back to her natural.
yeah, stripping
awesome.
all that color out. And I was actually surprised at how well it did end up lifting.
I know, I'm like right next to you, and it looks flawless.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect.
So-
It was first look.
She had this done, had tried to have this done previously, and they weren't able to lift through the blue. She was actually left with mint green, and
Debbie
she
said
rocked
before
that
we
for
started,
a while.
don't try this at home, right?
try this
Like,
at home.
you can't do this on your
It's-
own.
It was 6-7 hour process with her color.
It's been about a good quarter of half a day.
Oh my God, you look fabulous. I love the lashes. Tell us about that. What a cool transformation.
Yeah, so the brand that we use is Extreme. It's one of the leading in the world. We have over 100 different sizes and curvatures. And I decided to go a little more dramatic with her just because we're doing such a
But they
big
look great.
change.
They're not
Yeah.
thick, they're not over the top, but they're drama. That's what you want. What's
Yeah, and so they opened up her eyes a little bit, gave her that little pop, and for her, a new her, a new
Oh
look.
my gosh.
Yeah.
So great. Okay, so one of the last things that you said in your email, Courtney, is I want a chance to look as strong as I feel. How do you feel now?
I feel really strong. Like I feel confident that I can walk in and people will take me seriously for once.
I love it.
I mean, I understand, you know, I wanted to do the colors to explore because that's just how my personality is, but I realized after the time of trying so many different colors, I realized nobody was taking me serious because they're just thinking, oh, it's just another teenager just trying to go crazy and wild, or treating me like I'm a goth, or, you know, just trying to be funny.
And it's fun for a while, but then how do you get back? That's the part that is challenging, right? And you've done it, and it's flawless. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I honestly never thought I'd be able to go back to my original blonde. That's what my family really wanted to.
Yeah.
And I never could see it happening. I had, like she said, I had one lady do it, and she fried my hair, and it went mint green. So I rocked mint for a long time.
Which I did see pictures, and you did rock it.
Yeah, and you can, but to your point, we've talked a little bit about judging a book by its cover, and when you're trying to get into a professional world, sometimes you just need to look the part, and you absolutely do, and you guys are awesome.
And when you feel good, and you know, when you look good and you feel good, it just
you walk different, you talk different,
Exactly.
it radiates. That's a great way of saying it. We gotta go, I can't believe it. We gotta go. Thank you so much to all of our guests for joining us today. Thank you to the Ultimate Veritas Spa Salon. You guys are just awesome, we love you. And thank you to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Girl Talk.
Beauty and styling for Girl Talk provided by the Ultimate Veritas Spa and Salon.